Yo, what's the deal? This D Jeff, the Doctor of Sports, coming to you live with this week's episode of the Sports is My Medicine podcast. I hope you guys are tuning in. Um, a lot to talk about today. Actually, we're gonna switch courses a little bit than what I'm used to doing. I'm used to doing the preview shows, but this week we're gonna talk about something different. But before I start, what's my theme music?
What's up, currency and deep from the three like a dope decision, ain't no baby me. I can make it super light like I'm a veteran. I'm about to sports and sports is my medicine.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody that's tuning in. So check it out. The last few weeks I've done previews of the um, some of the divisions. I think I did the AFC East, NFC East, AFC South, NFC South. This week we were gonna do the AFC West and the NFC West, but I want to go in a different direction. I want to have a conversation about something that came up on Facebook after the Lions preseason game that I had mentioned on Facebook and had a lot of people comment, and we had some disagreements, which is fine. Out disagreeing is not a bad thing. Everybody's not going to agree with me. I'm not going to agree with everybody else, so that's okay. But to me, I feel like the conversation about uh, players coaches resting their starters for preseason games came up because Dan Campbell said he wasn't going to play his starters and some rookies. Um, and it come to find out that during the game, he didn't play Jameer Gibbs. He didn't play Brian Branch. He didn't play Sam Laporta. He played Jack Campbell, which was weird to me because if anybody wasn't going to play, if any rookie wasn't going to play, I thought it should have been Jack Campbell. Um, and I posted on Facebook, what did Jack Campbell, what has Gibbs done or Sam Laporta done? What have they done to warrant not playing in the preseason game, especially when they're rookies? As far as starters not playing in the preseason, we haven't seen Jared Goff. We haven't seen David Montgomery. We haven't seen most of the offensive linemen. Um, haven't seen our corners. I think Sutton may have played this past weekend. I don't remember. But we haven't seen most of the starters or the projected starters for the Detroit Lions. And I'm wondering, is that okay? Remember, before they went to 3 games in the preseason, they used to have 4, obviously. And the first game, you wouldn't see any starters. Second game, you wouldn't see any starters. The third game was like the dress rehearsal, and starters would play a whole first half. And then the fourth game, they might play a series, but they wouldn't play at all in the fourth game, depending on the team. But typically, watching the Lions over the past many years I've been watching them, that was the case. Well, it's weird to me now that a lot of teams have been playing their starters the first 2 preseason games, and I believe most of them will probably sit them out the third. Detroit haven't played Jared Goff yet. Is Jared Goff that good where he don't need reps in game action? Um, is the offensive line that cohesive that they don't need game reps in live game action? And I was hearing, reading people saying stuff like, uh, look, they had these joint practices and joint scrimmages where they're playing against other teams and that sort of thing. So that's kind of mimicking in-game reps and in-game speed. That's not. It's not, in my opinion. Scrimmaging someone of another team just because they're another team and not the team you're used to, not your second team versus first team, doesn't mimic game speed to me. Doesn't mimic the timing that you need in order to progress and be ready for the regular season. Now, remember, I said that 4 preseason games before they would they would play everybody the third one for the first half. Well, this is the third preseason game coming up, and I'm going to assume that he's going to play these guys at least a quarter. But then you run the risk of this is the game before the first game of the season. So it comes, one would think that this past preseason game yesterday would have been the one where you wasn't sitting everybody. I don't understand. Kansas City, they played their starters the first 2 games. If Patrick Mahomes can be out there playing 2, 3 series or for a quarter, then Jared Goff should be out there playing. I don't want to hear scared about injuries or, you know, any of that. Because injuries could happen. Jared Goff walking to get his mail out the mailbox. I don't want to hear that shit. That's a cop out. I think we are so excited about the Detroit Lions, so excited about what they can possibly be, and so excited at the fact that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have seemingly created a roster that's capable of doing something special that they're not open to criticism anymore until it don't work. And then you want to start probably criticizing again. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I love my Lions. I love all my Detroit teams, but I'm going to be critical where I see or I feel like criticism is deserved. Jared Goff should have played football in one of these 2 preseason games. Amon St. Brown got hurt in practice this past week. So I wouldn't have expected him to have played Saturday, but he should have been in play in this preseason already. David Montgomery should have played. There's no reason why any of those rookies should not have been on the field this past weekend. What are you assessing? Who are you assessing? Are you trying to? I've heard this too. Um, they're looking at other teams, and other teams are looking at our second, third streamers or fourth streamers who may or may not make the team, and you try to sneak them on the practice squad, and we're looking at their third and fourth stringers, and um, looking at like, okay, who they might put on their practice squad so we can snatch them off their practice squad. You got to get ready for the season. What happens if they don't play and then come Thursday against Kansas City, they don't have no continuity. They don't have no timing. Everything looks off. They're going to be like, wasn't they practicing together? Yeah, they were. But those scrimmages is not game speed. I was listening to 97 Won the Ticket all week, and they was live at training camp during these scrimmages. And it didn't sound like to me they was kicking the ball off and taking it from the 25, marching down the field, making plays, and emulating or simulating what a real NFL game was going to be like. One team get the ball at a certain yard line, they run 5 or 6 plays, try to score a touchdown or kick a field goal. The other team go down the field, get the ball at a certain yard line, and do the same thing. Yeah, they're probably playing fast, but you can't hit the quarterback. So how is that helping our starters? I don't think it is, and that concerns me. Um, it makes me think that, like everybody else is saying, that preseason is for practice and what backup players might make the team. Yeah, that's part of it. Preseason is for practice, but it's also for your starters to get acclimated to game speed, to new players, you know, and just get your timing right. So when the regular season comes, you can just start rolling. I don't understand why Jared Goff and why Marvin Jones Jr. and Josh Reynolds, Sam Laporta, why these guys aren't playing, why the offensive linemen ain't playing. You can't be afraid to get guys hurt. And when you're on the football field, if that's what you're thinking about, that's when you get injured. In any sport. If you ever been an athlete, if you ever, played athletics, you can't play worried about getting hurt. When people get hurt and be done for a season, it's a few things they got to do to get back. You got to get back physically and you got to get back mentally. I'm sure once you get on the field for that first time after an injury, mentally you're thinking about that injury. But once you get hit or once you make that first cut in a game, not in practice, because in practice, yeah, you running full speed and you testing it, but games are different. Game speed is different, and you gotta get these guys reps. So what's gonna happen next Friday when they play Carolina? That's my question. Is Jared Goff gonna play? Should he play? Jahmyr Gibbs gonna play a little longer, or or should he sit down again? Those rookies gotta play, all of them, especially Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, especially with JMO being out and out for the preseason, then he out for the first 6 weeks. Oh, that's another thing. Jamison Williams, he was gonna get tons of time in this preseason because he's gonna be out for the first 6 weeks. I'm hearing people being upset with him because he got hurt. I mean, it happens. He ain't gonna be ready to play or be back in the fold until week 7, 8, or 9. Just think about that. He can't be with the team for the first 4 weeks at all. When he comes back with the team, he can't practice until the week he comes back. So he can't practice until he's practicing for the games 7 in week 7. By that time, the team will have been played 6 games. They may be 4-2. They may be 5-1. They may be 2-4. Who knows what the record is going to be? But we expect it to be good. So it's going to take him time because he ain't been able to practice to get his timing and shit together for real game, real live action because he's going to be out for so long. So all these other cats need to play. Jahmyr Gibbs is supposed to be a big part of what we do offensively, especially in the receiving game. He should have been on the field Saturday. So missed me with all the, it's for practice and we need to see what everybody's gonna do with this and if this guy is gonna make the team or that guy. I don't care about them fourth string guys. I don't care about them guys because they're gonna be making our sandwich at Subway in 2 weeks. Or they're gonna be in the USFL next summer, or the XFL or whatever football league that they got out there that's not the NFL. It's just amazing to me that all the other teams in the NFL, I seen Josh Allen playing yesterday. I seen, like I said, Patrick Mahomes played. Um, you know, yeah, I haven't seen got Jalen Hurts, or I haven't seen. Um, we ain't gonna see Joe Burrow and them guys. Jimmy Garoppolo played. All these guys expect us to start. They've played. Why haven't our team? Why haven't our coaches? Why haven't our GM made the decision that our players need to play as well? It just doesn't make sense. So, um, somebody said preseason is an opportunity to get rookies that are expected to. This is what I told the guy. Preseason is an opportunity to get rookies that are expected to perform and expected to contribute, acclimated to NFL. You can't get that same experience in practice. You just can't. So, what do y'all think? Am I overreacting? Because I don't think so. They gotta play. What happens when they go to Kansas City and they get their ass whooped because they don't have their timing down? Because Jared Goff can't hit Josh Reynolds on that 5-yard out because they worked on it in game speed, not in practice, where Jared Goff can't be touched because he's a quarterback. They wear the red jerseys in practice. They can't touch them. You can't breathe on a quarterback in practice, whether it be regular practice, whether it be a scrimmage, whether it be joint practices with another team. You breathe on the quarterback, your ass in trouble. So don't tell me they don't need game reps in the preseason. I'm not saying play the motherfucker the. I'm not saying playing 3 quarters, 2 fucking series, 1 series, a half, a first quarter. They ain't played. So I'm very curious to see if they're going to play this weekend. And I believe they have to because you get them ready, and then come Thursday, because they got a short week. Or is it 2 weeks in between? It might be 2 weeks. I'm not sure. I have to check the schedule. This is no, I don't think it's 2 weeks in between. Let's look that up real quick. Go to my calendar. So yeah. So they play this Friday, the 25th. Game one is September 7th. So yeah, they got 2 weeks in between. Looks like 31st. Yeah. So they'll have 2 weeks in between the last preseason game and the first regular season game, which absolutely sucks. I was thinking we're gonna get a game right after the third preseason game, but they got 2 weeks, so you got to get them in there. You got to get them in there. And I'll say it again. I said it earlier in the show. If Patrick Mahomes can play in the preseason, there's no reason Jared Goff can't play in the preseason. No. So we have expectations for these Detroit Lions this year. A lot of expectations, a lot of fanfare, a lot of notoriety, nationally, locally. I live in Vegas, and the bookmakers and the sports books out here, all the money are on the Detroit Lions. They're not even their favorite out here betting wise because people believe in what they're doing. That same old Lions bullshit. I'm so sick of hearing that. That's one of the worst sayings that Detroit Lions fans can say. Same old Lions, same old Lions. Well, the only thing is the same is that the owners are the Fords and the name is the Detroit Lions. What happened 5 years ago ain't got shit to do with what's going to happen on September 7th or whatever that date is that they play the Kansas City Chiefs. Some of these players wasn't even born the last time the Lions won a playoff game. Some of these players wasn't even born when Barry Sanders rushed for 2,000 yards. Some of these players was in their early teens and single digits ages the last time when Stafford them went to the playoffs or when Matt Stafford got drafted. So that same old Lions bullshit. That's you guys giving up on your team, uh, worrying about history, the curse of Bobby Lane. That's garbage. I don't believe that one person, that one organization has anything to do with what happens. It just that's just the way shit go. It's unfortunate that the Lions have had the luck that they've had in their history, but that same old Lions shit, leave it. Miss me with that. I'm different. I don't believe in that. So, um, bottom line, I think they should they got to play their guys this week. If Amon St. Brown is not 100% by the game time, you can sit him out because if he's already injured, then yeah, you don't play him. Somebody told me the Lions have a whole lot of injuries. No, they don't. We've been very fortunate this year, this preseason, where not many people has gotten hurt. We had a scare with C.J. Gardner Johnson. It ended up being nothing. We good, but you can't play scared. You can't go into the season scared to get somebody hurt. You built depth. The team has depth. So now we don't have depth at the quarterback position because Teddy Bridgewater suck ass, like I said he did when we signed him. And Nate Sudfeld ain't no better. But that's another day for another podcast topic because y'all want Teddy Bridgewater to be good so bad. And I don't understand it. He ain't never been good to me, especially after that injury. But we have depth. So somebody get hurt is next man up. It's just that simple. Before somebody got hurt, we was fucked because we didn't have nobody to replace him. We're deep. The only place we're not deep at is backup quarterback and wide receiver right now, with J-Mo being out. So look, I know we all have different opinions. I know we all have different, you know, ways of doing things and ways of thinking about things. And my opinion isn't God. You know what I'm saying? My opinion isn't my word is not bond. It's just it is what it is. It's my opinion. It's my opinion about what I think they should do. But I feel strongly about my opinion, just like you guys do. And I feel like I'm knowledgeable of the game enough to know enough to say how I feel and what I think. And I'm not saying you guys aren't knowledgeable. I'm just saying we don't look at it the same. We don't look at the games with the same eyes and the same lenses. I'm not a fanatic. I love my team. I'm a fan though. Fanatics go way overboard. They overreact. Just okay, I'm gonna give you another example of overreaction. They talked about this on 97 Won a Ticket, so I want to give honor where or pay respects to hearing somebody else's topic. I'm not trying to take nobody's topic, but this is something I thought about myself. Lions win against Kansas City. The city's gonna go crazy. You're gonna get calls into the radio stations talking Super Bowl because they just beat Kansas City on the road. That's an overreaction, but that's how it's gonna be. You're gonna be on people on Facebook and X everywhere on social media. It's gonna be like, oh my God, Lions, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Overreaction. If they lose, they won't overreact, but they'll be skeptics. Depending on how they lose, you're gonna hear shit like same old Lions. Why? Because Lions fans are fair weather fans. At the first sign of adversity, they're gonna jump ship. As soon as they look good again, they're gonna jump back on that bandwagon. Now here's where the realness come in as a fan, not a fanatic. This is my fandom talking. This is me being a fan of the sport. They play Seattle in week 2 at home. Do we expect to win at home? I expect the Lions to win all their home games. But what if they lose to Seattle and they start the season 0-2? They might burn Detroit down with all the hype and all uh, the praise and all the everybody thinking that they're going to win this division and go away with it and make a playoff game and win a playoff game. The Lions could very well begin the season 0-2. Then what y'all gonna say? Then what y'all gonna do? I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna tell you we good. It's just 2 games. But no, you're gonna see on social media everybody gonna give up. They're gonna jump off that bandwagon so fast. They already bought them season tickets. They can't give it back. They're gonna show up. They're gonna talk all kind of shit. So we overreact as fans. Am I overreacting to them not playing? I don't think so. I could be. I just don't think I am. So I'm that's just how I feel. I just think they should play. I think they should. They gotta play their guys. They gotta give them reps. I want to see Jared Goff this weekend. Gotta see him. I want to see the first team offensive line. Offensive line looked bad the other day. Now, I don't know who they had in the game. I think they might have had third and fourth stringers in the game because our backup linemen looked good last year. So I want to see him. I want to see him in the game this weekend. So um, it's like that's just the way it's gonna have to be, you know. Um, so I'm happy you guys tuned in. I hope you're watching. I hope you're subscribing. Click the bell so that when I go live, you'll get a notification. You can come on here and check me out. You can chat with me. Ask me questions. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how you're feeling. We can go back and forth and have a conversation about it. So again, I went off course. Wanted to bring up a topic this week. Sometime this week, we will have an AFC West, NFC West preview. And Then we'll have an AFC, NFC West preview, and then we will go from there. But we'll have a preview every week of a division, and leading up to the week before Lions, Kansas City Chiefs, and Kansas City, and see what our boys gonna do. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Again, subscribe to the channel. Show me some love. Click the bell. Leave a comment. Inbox me. Tell me what you want to talk about. I'll bring it up. We can have a conversation. So again, the Doctor of Sports. Sports is my medicine podcast. We'll see you guys next week or later this week. I'm out.